Welcome to this recap for the Mr. and Miss Supranational preliminary competition. My name is Dani Walker. Thank you for joining the episode. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell or joining memberships to help support the channel. I'm in Poland right now, and this was my first time getting to watch the competition live for prelims. And it was such a different experience. It looks so different in person than obviously it does through a telecast. And it just gives you a very, very different perspective sitting in there. And I didn't realize that their preliminary competition, it's not really a competition where there's a big audience. The audience actually comes for the finals night competition. So that's something I had no idea about. So if you're considering competing and you're nervous about the crowds, you don't really have to be, because mainly the people in the audience were ones like myself that were commentating. There were some national directors, a little bit of friends and family. So honestly more of a low stress environment for prelims. So I want to start first by talking about the Misters because they competed first. And I want to talk about the confidence competition, and that's what they're rebranding the swim competition into. And what I thought was really interesting is that there's no official scores. It's just criteria, which is so cool. So it's like whoever the experts, the panel of experts, feel is very competent on stage and has the qualities of a title holder, those are the ones that they're going to be looking to advance forward. So let's talk about it. Argentina, I feel like it's always so tough, I think, to be the first one out on stage for anything, but I feel like he's really doing a great job, and I hope he doesn't get missed in the mix of the competition, but I liked him a lot. I really like Brazil, honestly, but I do feel like he needs to project a little bit more confidence, so he's kind of like on my edge. Now, Colombia for me is literally kind of everything, like for prelims. I mean, when I saw him for this competition, so confident. I do think that he could add a little bit of more of a smile here and there, but for me, he just has really solid performances. Dominican Republic performed very, very well, and I feel like that was sort of expected considering he was top 3 in the Supra model competition. Somebody that I really liked is Haiti. I thought that his performances are really, really good, and they should be enough, and they should have enough consistency to be pushing him forward. I'd like to see him advance. Indonesia really stood out to me in such a great way for this competition. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I feel like you can tell when a contestant enjoys a certain area of competition, and he seemed to for this one. And then we have Jamaica. So he was somebody I didn't notice as much in the supermodel competition, but I have to say this was a great performance. And then I mentioned this before in my other episode, but Korea for me has so much personality, and he brought that. And then it was so interesting to see the men because the posing is very, very different. It's very dynamic, and Korea's pose was like, okay. And then Laos. So Laos is so handsome, and so I expected a lot of great things from him, and for me, he delivered. Mexico is somebody that I would like to see moving forward. I do feel like he's kind of playing it safe with his performances and sort of flying under the radar, but I hope that the judges see what I see. And then we have Nepal. So Nepal did really, really great here, and he also pulled out that similar pose that Korea did as well, so that was interesting to see. And then Netherlands, I feel like he brought so much more energy than he did at the supermodel competition. Like, I feel like, wow, like he was really working for this, and I could feel that, so I really hope that he moves forward. Peru reminds me a little bit of Taylor Lautner. I don't know, I kind of see a little bit of a resemblance there, but I really liked him a lot. I thought that he was very confident, and honestly, when I think about the men versus the women overall, I feel like the men's competition was really, really, really tough. Like, the men were really on. And then, wow, Philippines. He qualified for supermodel top 11, but this was just, I mean, this was a performance he needed, and it was just so solid for me. So loved him. Puerto Rico, I did notice him here, and I feel like he's also kind of flying under the radar. I think he needs to bring a little bit more if he is to advance. And then we have Sierra Leone. So one of my favorites for a supermodel. He finished in the top 3 for that, so we'll see who wins that title, but I fully expected he would have a great performance. And I have to say, South Africa's performance, oh my gosh, I loved him for this. He was just so spot on for me, so confident. And the thing is with with these types of competitions, of course, everything's subjective, but if they're rating confidence, I feel like he was delivering. And then Spain just seems so sweet when he's on stage, and I feel like that's such a likable quality, so I liked his performance. And then Thailand, him and his little wink, okay. I feel like he brought a really solid performance here. And then let's move right along, because we got to keep things going, to the formal wear competition. So it's really interesting to see what the men wear. I personally typically like when they just stick to the darker colors, but some of them brought some interesting looks. So Argentina, really classic styling here. Another strong performance from him. I can definitely see him moving forward. And Brazil, once again, like he has such this like quiet confidence and a really nice smile, and I like him. I'm a fan. Now we have Colombia. So I felt like there was something slightly off about the styling of this look. Like I can't even put a finger on it because I'm not well versed in men's styling. But I do think that he could do a different look for finals if that's possible, change something up. But other than that, I wanted to see him smile just like a little bit at the end. But I still like him, his overall performance. Dominican Republic, he was so confident, and that really impressed me. What I realized about him is when he left, I was like, what did he even wear? I was so focused on him, I wasn't even paying attention to the wardrobe, and I love that. I love that for any contestant. And then we have Ecuador, very confident for formal wear. Indonesia had really great styling. That's something I have to say, like good styling, good performances. And then once again, Jamaica was just standing out for me. I really liked him a lot here. I preferred this performance, I will say, to the confidence round performance. We had another good performance from Korea, but I felt so bad because there was a guy that walked across the shot for quite a few of the contestants. I was like, oh, we can't get those moments back, and we kind of missed that in the shots, but yeah. That was a bummer. And then we had Laos, just nailed it for me. This styling, this performance, everything. I was obsessed. I really hope that he's in the top 5. I want to see him there. Nepal, I really like this. When we're talking about these types of competitions, you can really bring more creative looks. Like maybe not your safest suit or tux, right? Like you're gonna wear something a little bit more daring. And I really like the glitter lapel. It was a nice touch here. And then Netherlands, just yes. That's my note, just yes. Peru, solid. Philippines, good again. And then Poland is somebody, I expected something different from him, I would say, in swim. I like him, but I do feel like his formal wear presentation was even stronger than swim, and it was more of what I'd like to see. So I want to see him, like if he advances, switch things up for swim. Sierra Leone. His wardrobe. Who is putting this together? I love him. And then South Africa, great performance, and I felt like this was stronger than his confidence round performance. I'd really like to see him move forward. And then Spain, he was just so sweet again. He's just so likable for me. And then I liked Thailand's performance, and I really liked USA's little turn in the middle of the runway. Like I really liked the execution of that. And then Venezuela, I thought that Venezuela's confidence round was like a little too casual. I needed to see more energy, but then he really picked it up for formal wear. And then Vietnam, the sequin suit, love. There were so many Miss contestants, so I don't even know how I'm gonna be narrowing this down. And frankly, I think I really need to watch the replay of the show because I only saw it live, so I didn't get to see what was really happening on all of the cameras yet, and I feel like that's gonna change my opinion because I think that the judges can see that. I'm pretty sure that they have access to that view. Let's talk about it. So I liked Australia, and Australia is really stunning. I don't hear a lot of people talking about her, and she was super confident, but I will say some of her transitions were a little bit abrupt for me. Now Belgium, I was super excited for her. As I've said before, I've seen her grow so much in her walk from just, you know, a high fashion walk to really owning her own walk as a contestant. And so I really liked her for swim, and I felt like, you know, she was really like giving us a lot of great poses and transitions. So I liked that. I gotta say Bolivia and the hair, loved it. That was really working for her. Botswana, I'm obsessed with for this round because I felt like she was right on the mark. Like she wasn't overworking anything. She was giving me just enough. She wasn't low energy, and I love those types of performances. For me, those are the performances that really move forward. So I didn't know, because I try not to let my opinions be tainted by popular opinion. So I had no idea Brazil was such a fan favorite. And it's funny because I actually noticed her during rehearsal and I was like, wow, who is that? Like, she is really, really stunning. And then I saw her for the confidence round and I was just thinking, wow, such a stunning contestant on stage. I do feel like that there was a little bit of tension in her body, so maybe a little bit of nerves, and I'd like to see her just like relax a little bit more. Girl, you're stunning. Just own it. Own it for finals. And then Canada is gorgeous, I have to say, but I didn't like the styling. I really wanted to see her hair down and like flowing or something like that. I feel like it really adds to these types of performances, and I feel like she's been overlooked because of the styling, but stunning facially. Now, Colombia, face, so beautiful, and she was able to turn on that carpet. Honestly, I don't know how I would have fared on that carpet. I don't know how I would have done it. I mean, you gotta hope that your swim shoes are gonna allow you to turn on that. So good on her for that. Costa Rica did great. Cote d'Ivoire, I do feel like it was a strong performance, but she needed to smile a bit more for this one. Like, this is the fun part. Personality, confidence. And then Cuba I thought was really, really pretty. She has such great hair too. And wow, okay, Curacao. Like, and what I liked about this performance is it's really interesting. The judges are on the left side of the contestants and then the cameras are in front of them and the audience is obviously like kind of behind and all around, right? And so it was really interesting just to see that like Curacao was one of the contestants that didn't just focus on the camera. She like gave a look to the judges right before she was at the end of the runway. And I thought that that was great. Like, I thought wow, like she really turned this up. And I mean, she did compete at Miss Universe, so I feel like that doesn't hurt, right? And then Czech Republic, the face, just stunning. And you know who really stood out to me that I haven't heard people talk about either? Denmark. I haven't like really heard anybody mention anything. Like, even though I try to stay pretty sequestered, you know, I was just surprised that she really wowed me during this competition. Then we have Dominican Republic, and she was just so solid. And I have to say though, representatives from Dominican Republic, I feel like they're kind of like the Colombias and the Venezuelas of the world. Like, they're really gonna bring something good every year. It's just like, the question is it their year? Like, is it enough? And she really brought this. Now, El Salvador, so confident. If we're judging confidence, she should be up there. Like, I liked the confidence. And then I want to mention, I thought that Finland was really beautiful. She was just giving me teen a little bit, teen kind of vibes. And then Germany blew me out of the water with this performance. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. She was so confident. The styling, the hair, I was wowed. And then Guatemala, the face and the opening little flip turn that she did stood out to me. Wow. For the confidence portion, I thought India did a good job. Like, it's enough for her to be moving forward. I wasn't blown away by this performance. I felt just because it was so safe, but I feel like it's going to be enough for her to move forward. Obviously, if she had a great interview as well, right? And then Indonesia, gorgeous, confident. Love her. Japan, gorgeous. And I love that I feel like her strong face is her smile, because it's so sincere and so genuine. And she's just working that. She's owning that. She's not trying to be something she isn't. She's not trying to just give us sexy face just to give us a sexy face. Like, she's owning that. And then Laos, so confident. So confident. I did want some more poses though. And then Malaysia was good. Like, Malaysia really impressed me here, actually. And Mexico, I was really surprised that she didn't hold her pose at the end more. It was so brief. So that does concern me for her, like how quick it was. It was still good, but it was like so fast. And then we have Myanmar, top 5. Put her in the top 5. I'm obsessed with her performance, just all of it. Nigeria had a really nice over the shoulder look here. I was like, okay, owning this. Peru, I have to say she does remind me of Miss Universe Peru 2020. A little bit, like the eyes, like the eye color, right? Like, really beautiful, great job. And then we have Philippines, solid. Just, what can I say? You know, she's Philippines. She came, she delivered, as she should. And then we had Poland, and I was a little bit surprised by this performance. I felt like it was a little bouncy. So I hope that she pulls that bounce back. And then Puerto Rico, really beautiful eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, so stunning, confident. Sierra Leone, I feel like she has a great walk and performance, but I wish she would smile more for this round of competition. And then Slovakia, great job. She's stunning. She's 20 feet tall. And I wish she would just like exhale. It feels like there's a little bit of tension in this, but she does stand out. South Africa, she wowed me. She wowed me. And I feel like it's one of those things where you had to have been there maybe, but when she stepped onto the stage, I was like, that is such a different, like just such a different vibe from everybody else, like in a great way. And obsessed. She's glowing. It delivered for me. And then, okay, so Thailand, she won the supermodel round. She won one of those awards. And I loved her. And she had this little turn and she had this like perfect moment of suspension, like this little like moment before she completely turned away from the judges. And I was just like, I love her. And then we have USA. So USA, I feel like this was a good performance, but it does concern me a little bit. I just felt like she needed like more confidence on stage. I'm like, girl, you're so stunning. You're doing so well. Like, you just gotta believe in yourself. That's what you need. And then we had Venezuela, who brought a very just like Miss Venezuela performance. So I just feel like if she has a good interview, then we could potentially see her moving forward. And then Vietnam, I really like Vietnam. I liked her in the supermodel competition, still like her here, so I'm definitely rooting for her. I like her a lot. And now let's talk about gown. Ooh, what I really want to talk about. So couple things. Australia, really wowed in that red gown, and it was so funny to see her in this because I'm pretty sure this is one of the gowns I talked about in another one of my episodes where I was saying like, oh, I would love to style contestants like this. And she wore a gown that I suggested for contestants and I was like, oh, I love that. So she looked really, really beautiful. I feel like she's kind of getting lost in the mix a little bit, but I'm hoping she gets to, you know, gets pushed forward. Bolivia, wow, really, really beautiful. The moment she stepped out on stage, I was like, wow, you really caught my attention. Love just like the lavender beading in this gown that she's wearing. She looked amazing. She really carried it, and it just like stretched her on stage. That silhouette, it made her 10 feet tall. And then we have Brazil. So at first when Brazil came out, I was like, oh no, what is the gown? What is that? What is that? And then she did a reveal. I wasn't even ready. I didn't even think that gown could be revealed. And what came out underneath? Wow. Wow. Is she bringing this for finals? I need to know. I'm speechless. Blown away. Canada. So I really like this red gown and I thought she was really beautiful, but I think different styling, like a lighter lip, like one that's not as harsh because she's more fair. And so I'm like, on the fence. Colombia, I really like this dress. We did see a similar one later in the competition, but I thought it was so pretty. Just like the little fringe on the fingerless gloves. And I mean, she was confident. She looked great. And then we had Cuba. I don't know how that gown translated on camera, but let me tell you in person, wow. Wow. I mean, it shined. She looked beautiful in it. So I like that a lot. Now, Czech Republic, gorgeous, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. And she was just giving me like La Layla vibes with that gown. I wonder if it's the same designer. I'm not sure. But let me tell you, Denmark blew me away after Czech. I was like, I did not even know you were coming this hard. And let me tell you, she had a lot of fans in the audience. Okay, a lot of supporters. And I just loved it. Like the blue and the designs on the side that look like coral reefs. She has to move forward. Come on. I don't know what would happen. Why she wouldn't. And then Dominican Republic. That to me was like a great performance. The gown was beautiful on her. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a gown where it's like, oh, I've never seen something like that. But it was great on her. And that performance, for me, that was like a top 5 performance. Like I'd really, really want to see her moving on. Germany. Great styling here for Germany. I do feel like in years past, honestly, for any of the major pageants, that I feel like the reason Germany doesn't move forward, oftentimes it's like the styling is preventing them. And she just looks so beautiful here. And I love that she has this little detail. It's almost like this like double slit. There's like a little transparent part above the slit. I really liked it. It was just a small detail, but she looked beautiful and she was owning it. And then for me, Guatemala, the face, oh my gosh, just so stunning. So stunning. I loved her. And then, okay, this one might be a little surprising for some people. I don't know, but Honduras wore this like black gown. And a lot of times when we have this gown like that she wore, when they do that kind of like tulle fluffy bottom, they kind of just like cover the whole bottom of the skirt. but I really liked that it was just kind of like swirls all over the train of the gown of that. Like it wasn't eating the whole gown with tulle at the bottom. And I thought she was really, really beautiful in that. I liked it. Now, India, I was like, this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. I love the color on her. This performance to me was stronger than swim. This should be something that's going to be pushing her forward. So I like this. We do typically see a lot of gown changes for finals. I do feel like there's room to amp up the gown a little bit more, but I do love her in this yellow. Gosh, she looks stunning. Japan, love the gown choice. It was a unique gown. And I just love her. Like, I'm just like, oh, she makes me just such a fan. Like, it's like her personality. I can feel it from the audience. And then we had Malaysia in yellow. I loved this. I loved this on her. I thought this was a great performance. And then I was really surprised though, again, by Mexico. I'm worried because gosh, she looked so great in Supermodel. And then she came here and she wore a very neutral type of gown, like a very safe gown. But I will say, I feel like Mexico does this a lot in international competitions. Like think about Mexico at Universe, for example, in 2019. Like she came out for prelims and she wore this like white gown. It was stunning, don't get me wrong. But it was just like, okay, white gown, very, very fair contestant. I don't know, it just like wasn't doing anything for me. Then she came out in red for finals and I was like, ugh. And she did like the gown reveal, like the little skirt removal. Wow, right? So that's what I'm hoping to see here for Mexico in this competition. Like I need something else. And then I do feel like she like overworked the chin in this performance. So we don't need to pop the head up. Myanmar, I want her to be in a top 5. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. I love the gown. I love the details that stuck off the shoulder and then it stuck off of the hip. I am obsessed with her. She's fantastic. And then Nepal, beautiful styling here, great performance. And I have to say, like some contestants are like, can I wear something in my hair? And typically I'm like, no, because it's often not well styled and unnecessary. But when she did her turn, like whatever that piece was in her hair, like holding her hair back, I thought she looked great. Like it was a good styling choice. Frankly, it worked. Peru. This shade of green, I feel like, is how you do green. This is how you do it, okay? It has to make so much sense for you, for your skin, your hair tone. Like, ladies, if you're gonna compete in a green gown, go with, and you're not a redhead and you're not competing at Earth, then go with mint or pistachio. I feel like that's your winning combinations there. Those are the ones that do well, but she did great. She really stood out to me. And I must say, Philippines just like jaw-dropping to me when she came out in that gown, so unique. The only bummer is that the background this year was gold, so the gown blended in with the background. I was like, oh no. But I really liked that the fringe on her gown wasn't beaded, it was just a metallic fringe, like fabric. I loved her. I loved the performance. She needs to move forward. She can wear that gown to finals. She could bring usually they bring a different one, but I'm like, oh, something better than this? What? I loved it. Puerto Rico. I'm blown away. I was blown away. The wrap of the fabric, the way that she entered, and I don't know like how much she practiced this part, but the way that she was able to remove the fabric and it laid perfectly all around her. I don't know if that was just luck or if she was really working it and practicing that, but it was so well done. So gorgeous. I'm obsessed with that entire look and she was a definite standout. Oh, she better be moving forward. Sierra Leone, this gown was interesting and I really liked it. It kind of looked like golden waves, like a pattern on her. And then I liked it was unique. There was this like little detail going up towards her neck that was different. So I really liked her. I liked her. I liked the performance. Slovakia really brought something different. So she really reminded me of when designers feature a bridal look for their haute couture shows. And she looked like the grand finale with the piece over her head. Like that's what she was really giving. I'm curious if she's gonna rock this again for finals though. I mean, it was memorable. So here's another great example of green. So I know if everybody watches, you know what I always have to say about green gowns, but it's really funny because I saw a contestant earlier during the competition and she was quite fair skinned and she had this green and it was quite like a lime green. And when I saw the green, I was like, that shade of lime green works really, really well and it should be used for contestants with deeper skin tones. And I saw South Africa walk out in that color, like that lime kind of color. But it was like the perfect tone for her. The gown itself, gorgeous. The performance was there and I was like, I loved it. I was like, you got me to love a green gown and that is really, really tough to do. So, wow, I loved it. Love her. I'm rooting for her. And And it's South Africa. Like, you know they're gonna bring something else for finals, right? They typically do. So I'm like, what is gonna be better than this? Like, what are you bringing? Spain in her white gown, it was like, suddenly you really noticed her. I feel like she got lost in the mix for the confidence competition, and then here we see her in gown, and it's like, who is that? I literally heard somebody say, who is that? Oh, Spain, wow, really showing up for gown. Thailand was just silver perfection. Wow. The gown wasn't like something that was the most unique, but the way it fit on her body was perfect. The performance, come on. Let's put her in the top 5. I was loving her. And USA shocked me for gown in the best way. I was so happy for her. She's blonde. I love a black gown on blonde that's fair. It looks very good on stage. It definitely pops. It popped a lot against the gold background, and she looked great. And this was a strong, like, I felt like she was really feeling herself here. A lot more confidence for this competition, so I was really excited to see that. And with that being said, that wraps up my faves for the preliminary competition. I can't wait for finals. And with all of that being said, I hope that you not only subscribe to this channel, but also check me out on the Queen Beauty Network. Head over to queenbeauty.tv and subscribe. Right now, you can use code Dani25 for the first month for free, and then the next 12 months you'll get 25% off, so that you can see my additional commentary with my amazing co-commentator Luis Portelles, and we've been having so much fun. And then you can also check out our new Talk of the Crown show, so don't forget to tune into that. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I hope that you'll be back for many more episodes. I'll see you later.